What is up, guys? And in this video I will be revealing my $1,000 plus, even worth up to $5,000 when it comes to overall implementing and executing a Garyvee like content strategy. And in this video I will be showing you everything, revealing all the secrets for free. Stay tuned. So if you don't know who I am yet, my name is Peter from Broke Visionary Collective. I myself am a full-time freelance videographer, video editor, and content creator and strategist. And in this video, I will be talking about Garyvee's content model. If you do not know who Garyvee is, he is known as a serial entrepreneur, influencer, and business mogul.
Hey everybody, this is Garyvee Nerdchuck, and this is episode 50 of the Ask Garyvee Show.
And you'll see his content on Garyvee, EEE. And for me, he was one of the reasons why I started doing videography and taking video as a passion into a serious business. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you guys something that I charge clients over $1,000 plus when it comes to content strategy, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how you utilize and implement content and why content is so important, especially if you are a video creator. And I'm gonna break down exactly step by step of how you implement and execute video content strategy. And if you're a business owner watching, you're welcome. And I'm gonna jump into my notebook, I'm gonna hand draw it out, and further ado, I myself have actually created hundreds and thousands of videos for influencers, small businesses, and digital marketing agencies in regards to creating all of implementing their videos and content strategy. And why content is so important is because it is the currency and lifeblood of your business. Without good branding and content, you yourself can only rely on something like, let's say, a Facebook ad, a Google ad. But once you get that traffic and they go and check you out, you have to figure, like, how do you build trust? You build trust through a solid content. So I'm gonna jump into my notebook right now. I'm gonna do it old school, draw it for you guys and understand what is content, how does Garyvee actually make content, and how you can learn from these serial millionaires and how you can start implementing and charging, or even start understanding content strategy just like Garyvee. So to understand what exactly is content, you have to think of it as watering a plant. If you don't water a plant and you don't constantly put out content, one, no one is going to know who you are, and two, you're not providing value. And the key thing about creating content like the Garyvee model, and what I like and what I don't like about it, is that you need to make content with value in mind. Are you either helping people, are you entertaining people, or are you doing a combination of both? Making sure that those are your three buckets, right? So first is you need to define your pillar content. So that's what we need to do first. What is your pillar content? And what Garyvee refers to pillar content is essentially anywhere from your long form content. So that can be anywhere from, let's say, 10 to 20 minutes of content, and it doesn't really matter what sort of platform that you use. For me, YouTube is my go-to because I know the platform inside and out. But for you, it might be Facebook, hey, it might be Twitch. But for the purposes of this video, let's say pillar content is 10 to 20 minute long form content on YouTube, right? So that is your initial pillar content. And your pillar content is, you have different things that you want to talk about. For example, you have a tutorial channel, right? You have a channel that teaches people how to, let's say, cook, for example. That is your pillar content. From that pillar content, what Garyvee does and does really well is that he does something called repurposing. So you want to be able to repurpose your pillar content. And there are two types of repurposing content. The first type of repurposing content is you're either taking the content itself to share as a teaser or trailer to the pillar content. So for example, you do a teaser, a 15-second Instagram story that leads and drives traffic from your Instagram to your YouTube. So for example, if you just released a YouTube video that's 20 minutes that teaches people how to cook the perfect steak, and because of you don't really want to rely solely on pillar content and the YouTube algorithm, what you want to do is you want to do a social push. So doing a social push or email blast, that requires micro content or repurposed content. So all that is you're just taking, let's say, 15 to 2 minutes of teaser or trailer content that still has value, right? There's still value in this, but the whole purpose of this repurposed content is to directly put traffic to your pillar content, so your main traffic funnel. And if you're anything familiar with sales funnels, this is a content funnel and it is pretty similar. And underneath your repurposed content is that you can also have things such as even shorter versions of this. So you can have like a 10-second IG story. This would be a 15-second to 2-minute teaser on Instagram feed. So this is a feed post. Underneath is IG story. You can even have like a TikTok video. And what you're doing is you're essentially distributing your content from one long piece. So when you have a 20-minute video, that itself has reach, but you want to further the reach of the Garyvee model is that it's all about top of funnel content and it's getting the most reach and the most exposure that you can possibly have, so you can direct all back to your pillar content. So you have your 15 seconds, hey, I just made a new video, or swipe up, or hey, I just made this TikTok video, watch the full length video on my YouTube channel. Hey, this is an organic piece of content that drives value. Let's say it's a 1-minute tip on how you prepare your steak. Watch the full video on YouTube. As you can see, the common theme of repurposing content is that you are essentially pushing everything back up into your pillar. Your pillar content is your bread and butter. And last but not least is that you want to have original pieces of content. So on top of just using these two pieces of content for teasers and be able to push these type of content just for your pillar content, you can also have original content from the pillar content. So what I mean by that is, let's say for example, you have a really good portion in this 20-minute video that talks about, let's say there's a 5-minute portion on how to properly heat up your pan, all right? There's also another portion on how to know when to, the steak itself is, let's say, medium rare. So that itself, you have already 2 separate pieces of content within this 20-minute video. And the reality is, when it comes to pillar content, not everyone watches the full 20 minutes. So they're not going to know that, oh, you actually go through part A, B, and C within this video. Most people only watch, let's say, unless you are a super tutorial and super have a dedicated audience, most people only watch from anywhere from 40 to 60% if your content is high quality. So what you can do now is you can have your own pieces of content, not only to tease, but you have more original content. And this can be placed anywhere from your Instagram, your Facebook, your website. And you have original pieces of content within content. It's content within content within content. And that is the Garyvee content strategy, is that he makes very focused, driven, value-based content that either entertains, educates you, or just overall helps you in some sort of way. And his niche is digital marketing and finding your passion. He then takes those micro clips and makes teasers for them, so you can have, hey, new video, swipe up, check out my pillar content. He also takes organic pieces from that content, let's say from 2 minutes to 6 minutes, and makes more teasers and IGs and TikToks from them. And last but not least, he also makes individual organic pieces of content that can stand alone, that don't push any of this pillar content, but are acting as his own original content. So like I said, the whole purpose of the Garyvee content strategy is you're getting max exposure for one single piece of content. What Garyvee actually does in his community is that he actually reads comments that people would actually timestamp from, let's say, for example, 146 to 256, and he makes not only teasers but actually Instagram graphics and posts and audio. So from this one piece of pillar content, what's happening is he's taking the pillar content and he's making video clips, so micro content. He's taking it and making it into quotes for Instagram or Facebook, so graphics, and he's also taking the exact pillar content and making them into audio experiences, aka podcasts. So you're tripling down on that one piece of content that equals 100 pieces plus of content. But this is the actual Garyvee content strategy, and you'll see a lot of people use this, and it is the go-to when it comes to content strategy. And this is something that I actually offer to my clients and charge $1,000 plus for this, but I want to give it to you guys for free. And on top of that, you're always trying to redefine this process, right? Yes, you understand content strategy, but you also understand your content itself. You have to understand, who is it for? What are you trying to accomplish with your content? Don't make content for the sake of making content. Yes, Garyvee talks about, document instead of creating, but you don't want to document your day-to-day over 1,000 videos. You only get one view per video, and the reality is there's no value in that. No one cares about you're going to have a sandwich. No one cares that you're doing XYZ. What people come to the internet for is to either learn something, to either distract themselves, or a combination of both. And you have to be really self-aware. You have to understand that, hey, you might not have the personality to be a big YouTuber like Mr. Beast or Logan Paul or Jake Paul, but you're really good at explaining things. So maybe you can make a channel that helps people how to make content, how to, for example, does this sound familiar, how to use a Nikon camera. So at the end of the day, you want to understand that content itself, it's complicated, right? But it's not complicated. You want to make sure what type of content you're making. What is it you're trying to accomplish? Are you trying to sell something to your audience? Do you have a product that you're trying to sell? And how do you structure your videos? How do you sell your products within a video? Do you sell right away, or you build value? And doing the right thing is always the right thing, as something Garyvee would say, and that's where content comes. And you don't expect anything from anybody, especially when it comes to the online space. It's always about putting the audience first. So that is how I understand and how I actually implement the Garyvee content strategy for myself and my own clients. And now you also get a look and an understanding of what's the whole purpose of repurposing content and how you can do it too. And understanding that brand is everything. Brand is legacy. You have two competitors that have the exact same product. Their story and their brand is what will separate you from the competition. So that, guys, that is how you execute and implement and understand the Garyvee content model. And now you'll probably see this everywhere when it comes to influencers, businesses, and this is going to become the new norm. And I wanted to give this information to you guys for free so you too can also either implement, understand, or sell these services. And why is content so important? Now you know. It builds brands, it builds trust with whoever's watching your videos, and it's not so much about vanity metrics, it's more about legacy. And that's something Garyvee would say. I am heavily influenced by Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm not sponsored by him for this video and talking about him. I am just a proud believer of what he's preaching and what he actually does, and he walks the walk and he talks the talk. And with the world of online gurus, it's hard to trust a lot of people nowadays, especially in the online digital space. If you watch this far into the video, make sure you give my video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, leave a comment below, and if you want to grab my free camera guide to help you out on your content creation journey, link is in the description. Check that out. My name is Peter, and you're watching a Broke Visionary Collective, where we all start with nothing, but you can always create something. Cheers, guys.